ball game. I'm the reason that they all came. I'm headed to the Hall of Fame. Best believe that I'll never have an off game. Got a soft touch on the big stage. End of the game, so clutch. Lockdown D so deadly. Hit half court shots as the warm up. It ain't hard. I'm the one.
All right. Let's go ahead and get this started, man. First, introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do.
First, my name is JHAZZ, radio personality, JHAZZ, but I'm JHAZZ. I'm a radio announcer here for WLOU, WLLV, and also the producer for 96.1, the Big Ag Sports Radio Show.
Now, how long have you been in radio?
38 and a half.
38 and a half.
Yes, sir.
And how did you get started? What was the first thing that you did to get involved in this business?
Well, I told my mom and dad, I said, Mom, I want to do radio. She said, boy, you have to stop it. I said, Mom, I really want to do radio. My grades are good.
No, wait. Had you done radio before?
Never have.
And you told you just out of the blue. But so what was?
Well, I used to listen. My daddy was an engineer at General Electric.
Okay, so you was around it.
Yes. My daddy had a record store and a little radio station that he used to have, but I didn't partake in that. But I told my parents I wanted to do radio. And my mother brought me a toy mic. I used to walk around doing current events at home and listen to my mom and dad listen to me and say, hey, you got something going on here. And so that's how things took off.
So what part of it was interesting to you? You wanted the mic. What were you hoping to do in radio? To be the announcer, with the DJ, to do commercials, voiceovers? What is it that you were trying to do?
Be one of the biggest radio announcers in the country. I became one of the biggest announcers in the Midwest for the last 22 years.
Wow. And who did you listen? Who was your early influence that you heard and you said, man, I want to be like them?
Tony T. Fields.
Okay.
Was a guy who inspired me. Dr. Bill Price. They inspired me when I was younger. I said, I'm gonna be up here someday. Come on. So finished all my schools, preliminary stuff, and went to college and things like that, and used to work at U92 in Lexington. Did a quiet storm, and things just fruition from there.
But how did you get started when you told your parents that you wanted to do this? How long did it take, and what was the process of you actually getting on the radio?
It didn't take very long. I know I love the craft, and I had it in my heart that that's what I wanted to do, and I believed in me, and prayed to God several times, and things took over. And I told myself I'm going to be one of the biggest radio things in the country. I told myself that. Told my mama that. I told some friends of mine, oh man, you're not going to do it. Just go ahead on,
They laughed at you.
Yeah, they laughed. But I love what I've done, and I love what I do today. This probably be a last run for me doing this year. I've done it, and now it's about raising grandchildren, training other people, younger people that's younger than me, want to get into the industry or not. Going back out in the community, making a difference, and volunteering to helping, feeding the homeless, and doing other things. I get a thrill out of giving back and helping people less fortunate than me. It's been my mama had an outreach ministry, and I used to have my mama pack groceries and things to the outreach ministry for the coalition that she had. So I did that for years with my mom, man, and my brothers and I, and 6 boys and 2 girls in the house.
So was that part of the early influence for why you felt like giving back to the community and service to the community was so important, because you'd seen that as
a young person? My mom and dad was tremendous influences. My dad was an engineer at General Electric at Building 5, and he'd walk around with the white hat, the white coat. Did internship at General Electric for a couple years with my dad on off days. I played ball. But it was just great parents, unbelievable parents, appreciate anybody, loved on people. That's where I get it from, and it's been a terrific career for me, man. There's been some ups and downs, but there's been some highs and lows. But I worked at so many radio companies, Tony, and I worked for,
Well, this was sort of at a time when radio was probably at its peak.
I worked at Radio 1 with Kathy Hughes. She used to own about 40 of them. And Tony Fields was the president of running her 40 companies. I did that in Cincinnati, the Wiz, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, so forth, and worked that in years. And man, it's had so many people, man, Tony, man, I worked with, man, was tremendous influencers. I can just name you several people, ladies, gentlemen, Gerald Harrison, JRGR, the superstar, Ann's baby, Canessa, he live in Lexington. It's just so many, man. Was tremendous influence. They was much older than me. It's like, man, come on, we're going to teach you. So I got into the teaching part of it and learned it and went to school and fruition things. And I said, this is all now. It's time to play ball.
Okay, so what was the first things that you were doing on the radio?
Doing some air checking and wasn't talking on the radio. I was trying to learn this conference board here, this modulator board, and learn this in the computer. And they didn't have a lot. They had reel-to-reels back in the days. They had 8-track tapes. They never had this type of material after years later, but I did the 8-track tapes and the reel-to-reels.
And then you said, I'm going to take it to the next level. And
Yes, sir.
And you educated yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was that like?
It was good. I tell you, I had some good parents, man, and either you did what you're supposed to do and you didn't. There was consequences behind that door. So came out 3.8, 4.8, had a 4 grade point average, and made a 30 something in the SAT test, and I had choices to go different places to do this and do that. But my brother went to Marshall. My older brother went to Marshall. Thunderherd, of course, they made a movie, and my little brother went to Ole Miss, and another brother went to Tampa, played ball, different areas of ball. But we all did what we did, man. But I remember that it fruitions to me that Chuck Conrad, Dave Conrad did a story on the Hazard family of sports back when he was at WHAZZ, Channel 11 News. He did the sports casting. And we all played ball and football and things like that. But I enjoyed like the football, the sports, things like that. But man, the radio was hair deep. I used to do it in high school and middle school and talk, and radio's, that's radio guy, But man, I'm telling you, when I got to the gospel industry, and man, I became one of the biggest gospel DJs in the Midwest for over 12 years. I had over 30, 40 million people that listened to me across the country in the gospel game. I took a level of gospel because I love God so much and love people. I just took that thing to a higher level, man. I enjoy that more than R&B at times because I met a lot of gospel artists from Shekinah Glory Ministry. You probably don't know them. They're from Chicago. I went to their church in Chicago, first time visiting, and when I walked in that church, the anointing just hit me so good, and I laid out on it. I laid out for hours because the anointing was for real. I never experienced that. It just, and Al Hobbs was one of the big promoters for gospel industry out of Indianapolis. He's passed on, but I won a Stellar Award, the Grand Ole Opry, down there at Dolly Parton, Nashville, Tennessee. I won 3 of them. Nashville was like winning Grammys. Radio personality does, Kirk Franklin and so forth, all the big name artists is there. Yeah, man, so I did what I was supposed to do.
That's quite a storied history, but I guess what were some of the challenges that you met along the way? What was the difficulty of being a radio personality?
Not getting to the point, Tony, that I want to get. And the other guys that was older than me say, hey, man, you're going to have your turn. You're going to have a time to shine. That I wanted bad enough. I had to tell and teach myself. I had to calm down, relax, and stay in your lane and stay like an eagle and and learn what you can in this industry as you can, and that's what I did.
Well, where were you not at that you wanted to be? What were you not achieving that you were still hoping to get to?
Well, I don't want to say that.
I mean, you're reaching millions of people.
I wanted to be like
you felt.
I wanted to be like a Tony Fields. That was my mentor in the industry, and the reason I said I wanted to be like him because he was so brilliant. He was so genius. He did this demonstration. I'm gonna demonstrate you something here. He took a B96 van, parked it on the Louisville Gardens parking lot, and it was a Beastie Boys, L Cool J, Run DMC concert. It didn't have nothing to do with B96, but Tony said, I'm gonna show you how gifted and talented I am. They're gonna think we promoted this event. Set the whole van the whole night. Thought it was a B96 event, but it wasn't. He was just trying to show me and show other announcers, this is what I am. Created a narrative. People thought, oh man, B96 broke the Beastie Boys. Never did. It was just something that he did. But he was genius. I wanted to be like him so bad. And after a while, I said, Dad, I don't want to talk like him. I want to emulate some of the things he did in the community. Conduct himself with character, morale. He did all that, man. And that's what made him what he is today. And I can say for other guys as well, too, the Gerald Harrisons and the JR Superstars and Bill Prices and all them guys, that character. When you're in this business, it's about your character and your demeanor. Jason Claiborne, a national gospel artist, told me about a year or two, he said, Hazard, listen, I watched you flourish and I watched you grow in this business. He says, man, I love you because of your character and your demeanor. He said, I watched you do some things, man, unbelievable how you done things in this business. But I watched you because of your character. That brought a tear to my eye because I started playing his music on the radio, promoting his music. And
this was before he had even...
Exactly. Before he became,
Before he won Stellar Awards.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I did to other younger artists that didn't have opportunities to promote and interview and play their music. I've done all that, man. I see some go, and some go this way, some go that way. But I've done it, man. I enjoyed that, man. It was never really a dull moment with me in the industry because a lot of dull moments is because I had so much love around me. Mom, and then my dad, and then actually my dad died in 89 and colon cancer, and I was living in Cleveland, Ohio. No, I was living. In fact, I can't remember. It was one of the company that worked for. I was working at the time Jordan in Dallas, but then my mom died 10 years later. Just talked to my mom, and she said, "Honey, when you come in town, baby, bring me some banana blocks, little yellow, little square banana blocks, little square ones." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, I'll bring you some when I come in, Mama, tomorrow. She said, "Okay, baby, don't forget." I never had a chance to say goodbye, I love you, or nothing. My mom ended up dying about midnight that night. When I found out that morning at about 6, 7 o'clock, my aunt called and says, "You need to come home to Louisville, and something's wrong with Mama." And man, I just wowed out. Those two people who took half of my life from me. And I told my parents, I told my mom and dad, I said, when I make it big in radio, I'm going to take care of you. I never had a chance to take care of my parents. When Tom Joyner gave me an offer, and he gave me his last check and things like that, man, and I couldn't do it. My mom was already gone. I said, "Mama, here." She said, "Boy, I don't want that here, honey. It's yours." I said, "No, Mom, I'm going to do this for you and take care of you." She said, "No, baby, I just gave it back to me. And that was it, man. But you got to understand something, Tony. And when you've been grounded with parents like that, man, unbelievable. I had people on the radio. I was on the radio several times, and I said, "What does Winston Hazard and Hazel Hazard meant to you?" They said they represented love. That's what they represented. And that's what I want to represent. When I see you and her, it's love to me. I say younger couple. I ain't saying I'm holding But I see that, man, you know, that's what I do, man. I could not be on the radio and tell you, talk to you about some things, man, it blow you away. Because it happened. It's, you know, it did some things. I interviewed some of the biggest stars in this business. From Hollywood to professional athletes to NASA. One of them was NASA was terrible. They knew I was telling the truth, but called me everything underneath the sun. There's no way a man or woman physically landed on the moon. That's impossible. The Bible said God created two birds, two significant birds. As I told you this before, a dove and an eagle. I said the eagle's a very uncommon bird. It does significant things. It breaks gravity. It just, you know, why would God create something and not flourish and not let it work, you know? But besides that, I always talked about an eagle after I read about it. Prayed and studied, man. That's one of the baddest birds in the world. I want to be like an eagle. So I started creating that thing in my head and, you know, creating the stuff on the radio stuff, man, talking about different things I never talked about before. I talked about Dolly World, about Dolly Parton, the significant things she did. Then when she was in Nashville and they had a flood, it happened to Grand Ole Opry years ago. And tremendous flood, people lost homes and so forth, the whole nine. And she gave back $200 million to help people get food and housing, the whole nine. And then what the interesting thing she did was a business concept. She took her toys and took it 2 hours away and put into another amusement park and called it Dollywood. Those are business concepts that you learn in the industry of radio about hooking and teaching in the industry how you do on that microphone, how to hook. And those are things that you learned about how to. Nobody never talked about that on Dollywood on this station, but me. I hook people. What I said, all right, my name is JHAZZ. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you about significant things that I'm gonna tell you about in just a moment. And so I told him about it and things like that, and just, you know, enjoy what I did. So I'm sorry I took off your question.
No, I'm curious how far you had gotten before your parents passed. What were they able to see you actually accomplish? You know, were they see you that you were on your way, so to speak? Were they seeing like, hey, baby, you doing good? I see you out there. You might not have been where you wanted to be, but did they see you?
Not as much, but
And then you mentioned Tom Joyner. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember listening to Tom Joyner
down the road,
going to work. Mm-hmm. You know, and by this time, but of course, this was probably 20 years ago, and he was huge by that time.
Yeah.
But at what point in his career were you working with him, and what changed after you got a situation like that?
Just maximize my talent. I want to be the biggest thing in the game at a young age, and that's what I did. I accomplished. I studied. I did events outside of the radio. I did parties and things like that. And that's what Tony Fields did back in the day. He did parties. It was sold out. It was a big line. Robert skating ring. He did a lot of, so that's what I did. So I didn't try to use a lot of the radio stuff. I just used, some of the things he did outside the industry and maximized and did it.
You mentioned about Dollywood and the toys a little while ago.
Well, I mean by her toys, but her rides. I mean,
that's what I know that you also are giving back to your community through toys.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about your program.
I have several, nonprofits that I'm a part of. I'm on different types of boards. Main Event Leadership Academy, where I gave back to projects, people in the project. I hate talking like this, but it is what it is. And the Housing Authority gave me the opportunity do this. And I said, I don't want to do, you know, in the projects. So Jared's the only thing you got to do. It's the only thing you do. So I did it and fell in love with it. Teach other young people how to give back and help. And then I did the Box of Love. I did it on 4th Street, the Box of Love. And did that for years and fed thousands of people. 10,000 turkey boxes, 80 pounds of Tyson chicken in the box, and it's called Love, and just give back, helping people who's less fortunate than me and you today. I enjoy giving back, man. I get a kick out of that. I've been like it all my life, because my mama had the foundation, the outreach ministry at first, and that's what made me get in about giving back. See, once you learn about how God does and what Jesus did, his 12 disciples done, man, you got to fall in love with God and follow some things that the roots of why that you are today. Mom and dad, they had foundations, man. They did things, man, that a lot of people didn't do. My daddy built a 1929 Mercedes kit car in the garage, and it's just, I'm like, Dad, how you do this, you know? And he did it.
Now I understand your mother worked with Jesse Jackson.
Yes, that's true.
Talk a little bit about
back in the coalition, back in
Black History Month.
Grant, David Abernathy and all them. That's why we went to Watchmore Baptist Church. That was back in the days. I did a lot of charity stuff and giving back, feeding people and things like that. I got with the program very young because I was playing high school ball at the time, and I just enjoyed doing it, man. I didn't. A lot of times I'm like, man, that's Jesse Jackson. That's it's Ralph David Abernathy. Like either civil rights guys is in the movement. Martin Luther King. And so me and my mom was in the choir watching. I sung, and my brother played the drums, and we went down to the Martin Luther King's church down in Florida, and went down there and we sung. My pastor preached, whatever, that kind of thing, man. I just enjoyed it, man. The thing with me, T, is having a relationship with Jesus and knowing who he is. You know who he is, have a relationship with him, man, and read and pray. Man, he moves things, man, like you never seen before in your life. I guarantee you that. Because if I didn't have Jesus in my life, a relationship with him, I never would accomplish none of this.
You talked earlier about, as a youth playing sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you also play college ball.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
I played for Fern Creek in high school, and basketball and football and baseball, and pretty good at it. And then I hurt my knee my senior year in high school. Like, man, I said, I ain't going to make nowhere now. I'm done now. So just rehabbed it, and Coach Glazer was one of the coaches for UK recruiters, and he had a brother that he was a coach at St. Xavier High School here in Louisville, and said, man, I want to play, man. I got a second chance. I got a second win, He said, man, you had a serious accident, man, on your knee. And so I got that and took care of that. And then later down when I played, I tore the knee, same knee again. And I was done after that. So my next step was the radio industry. And but I always had my mother's foundation because other ladies was running it, so I was still trying to do that, but I couldn't do as much because of my knee was so torn. So I did what I could do, try to do, but to give it all back, do it all over again, nah. I would do a different road.
So at what point did you marry the radio and being a radio personality with sports? And begin main event sports in that journey?
It's a love thing, man. I love the industry when I was younger. I love being a big time announcer, radio guy. And I came to later down the road meeting Rashawn Myers and Haven Harrington and some other guys that was not in the industry that knew a little bit about sports. So I already had a sports show. And so I changed it to Main Event Sports with Haven and Rashawn and Carlos Kellum, and we got together. We did it for about several years, and became one of the biggest sports shows in the country, African American sports show in the Midwest. And we covered international, local sports, from Super Bowls to NBA playoffs, and college sports, football, all that. I did a lot of that because I learned a lot about the industry of how to market. As being a radio announcer on the air, you have to market and talent yourself. I learned how to do that. Collaborate with some people and say, hey, I got a sports show. Want to invite us up and we cover blah blah blah. And that's how it all started.
Who were some of the people that y'all interviewed? Some of the personalities.
Man, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith. I just go on.
Say no more.
I go on.
You hit royalty already.
Man, it's just so many athletes that I have collaborated with throughout the years, and still today. Still friends today. Still come by and hang out. And when I do my parties, I invite the people to come out for the people, the celebrity people that I met through the industry of radio. And James, we'll come through, man. We ain't gonna, we'll fly, that kind of thing, flying for free or whatever, and just support. The way you treat folk and respect folk outside of this industry, the way how things come together, man. And that's one thing you got to have. That the world is going to be against you. But I knew that at a young age. And I said, I'm going to beat the odds of what the world is. People are not going to like you. People don't like what I do. I have my boss probably come here now. What are you doing all this in here? And ain't got nothing to do with you. These people friends of mine who's wanted to do a story on me. They might not seen, things like that. And they might be like, there ain't no sense you doing that. People didn't believe in me. I had people that didn't believe in me in this game for a long time. I didn't want to prove it.
Did that hurt your feelings?
It did for a minute. I said, hold on. I'm going to go ahead and handle business. So I started promoting things outside the business, parties and events and stuff like that. So I got on the radio, started being tough, shorten my breaks, in and out 4 or 5 second breaks. It wasn't no 10, 15 second breaks. I showed that thing up and looped some things and boom, it was on. I had to teach myself how to be what I wanted, and that's what I did.
Now, we see all the electronics and screens and whatnot over here, but how much has it changed over the years? In what ways? Because I remember when I used to listen to the radio all the time.
Well, they had
but not as much.
They had 8-track cards.
How much has it changed?
30, 40, 50 years, I was young doing this, man, and we used to have, this was never implemented, it's all computerized now. I used to have reel-to-reels. People used to hit it and be like, oh man, the tape's coming out again, I gotta go back and do it again.
Yeah, you had to work it.
Oh, you had to work it. And trust me, I wasn't making a lot of money at all in the days. $1.50, $2, back in the early 80s.
So at what point did you start making the millions? Because you're looking like $1 million right now. So at what point?
Watch yourself, sir.
At what point did you start to feel successful in your own interpretation of it?
When I started giving back to the people, feeding the people. God was blessing from out of nowhere. I didn't even ask my celebrity friends. I just said, Lord, just bless me to help your people. Like Moses in the wilderness. Food coming from out of nowhere. Friends helping out of nowhere. And I knew I had successful when I had a personal driver, bodyguard at the time. I didn't really need it, but those are kind of companies that provided for their talent. If you have talent, you're going to get taken care of. Now, the same studio that Ricky Smiley runs out of now in Dallas, that was Tom Joyner's old studio. So he sold it to Ricky Smiley. And Ricky asked me, hey man, won't you come on and be a part of our team? I said, no, sir. I said, no, son, I'm done. I said, no, son. He said, why you say it like that? I said, well, because I like women, not woman. And he said, what? I said, man, I just don't get down. I'm I'm good. So I know him, but I just didn't believe in that relationship type thing, gay and, having people to work with, that kind of thing. I just didn't, no, that was it. I had a good, I've been on some of the cruises all across the country. Africa and other places, I seen where a ship hit a whale, split him in half. I was scared of water because I've been on that ocean like that, man. That's not me. I could swim like a dolphin, but I just didn't like a lot of water. I enjoyed it, as we stopped and got land, Puerto Rico and places, I had a good time. Dominican Republic, it was a good time. But see, that's when I know I hit that fame. But I had that fame take over my heart. I knew where I was before I got here. I stayed very humble. But what I did, gave back. Toy drive, feed the people. I go back my hometown. So I'm going to Louisville for the holidays and feed the people in Louisville. So that's what I did. I fed people in other cities, but not like Louisville was my home. And I took care of my home.
Well, you mentioned, how much did you have to change to be in this business? Because a lot of times when you start out kind of young and naive, and when you get into the entertainment business, it's a little bit different. Some of the people and the celebrities and personalities that you're meeting might have been some of the people you were looking up to as well. And at what point did you have to change, so to speak, in order to be successful in this business? Because you just said, hey, I don't want to do things like this to compromise my own principles and whatnot.
I know I am.
How much did you have to do that over the years?
I changed my early stages by me learning this business. I've seen a lot in this business.
Yeah.
Work with a lot of people in this business, and I said, hey, this is what I'm not going to do. I seen some things, I'm like, no. You just gotta stay away from things and just focus what you're trying to focus on. That's what I did, man. I took away all the narrative stuff and focus on what I'm here for. Come on, JHAZZ, come hang in. Come in. No, I'm good. That's when the hating came apart. When I started turning people down. But I had joy in me, man. You hate on me all you wanted to, but then, I still had that. I'm good. But it was never about money with me. It was about taking care of my family a little bit or whatever, taking care of the people. People talked. People talk maybe about you, about your industry. It'll happen. But I promise you this. You got to know him here. And all that goes away. Now you smile at mama. Now how mama smiled at you. Just like that, dog. And don't worry about the outside of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The world's going to do what the world's going to do to you.
Yeah. Now, when I see you, how I got to know you was at the Louisville game.
Yeah.
I guess for you now, having been in the industry that long, what is it about what you're doing now that you feel satisfied? And
I love to do things that I enjoy to do. Covering sports, I've done it since 2001. I first watched Rick Pitino come to Freddy's Bar and Lounge on 2nd and Broadway in a three-piece suit with some Cohan shoes on. Was dressed up. And I'm sitting in the bar at Freddy's Bar having a cocktail, and here comes Rick Pitino and his entourage. I said, Coach Pitino, how you doing, Coach? Hey, how you doing? So I heard the word he's great becoming Louisville's head basketball coach, And that happened. And I just one thing. It's just surprising, but there's other things that happen, man. And because when I ordered the steps with God, I said, God, I want you to show me your people. Show me some good people that's gonna be in my vision, things I've done in this business. Man, they showed me some people, man. I never would have got close to, but I have. I mean, some are dead, some are still alive, some are younger, some are older. I could call, you have an interview and call this hypothetical. I can call Lamar Jackson. Boom. What's up, Lamar? How you doing? Hey, what's up, Haz? How you doing? It is what it is with people. But I enjoy talking to you, what your profession is. Sit down and talk to you, have a cup of coffee, just enjoying you. Learning, knowing you, who you are. People are people. I tell you this, if you didn't know, Lamar got a $10 million deal from Netflix. Did you know that? Did you know he's in Hollywood now and Greg make movies? Did you know that? Let me tell you what Hollywood did, since we're talking about Lamar Jackson. Instead of in Hollywood shooting their movies on the outside of what they did is they brought huge warehouses and they built them where they shoot all their movies inside their warehouse. Instead of taking up stuff all over the world, all over cities and states, they do it right then and there, saving money. They shoot a few things outside, but the majority is inside. So he said, I said, man, come on, man, you come on up, Haz, you get a chance, I said, sure, whenever you get together, I'll come and check out one of the movies. Derby time, we go to the galas. Friends of mine come in town, him and Donovan, we always go in the back, come from the back, instead of hanging out in the red carpet. Where they park the car, all that, we all come from the back. Like, who's those people? All them people come from the back. They don't know who it is. Then we go sit down and, they come up close and they come the bodyguard. Hey, man, back up, We just having fun. This guy's just having fun. Yeah, you might have money, but we just having fun. But it's never about money with these guys. It's like big kids having fun. We ain't out hurting nobody. We asked the people, say we want to go in the back door. We won't come in the front. You want us to come in the front, we will. And we did it at the barn stable. We came in the front. That's when, all that came,
You got your picture taken?
Yeah, and all that. But Janet Jackson, all of them was, and I've done that for years, man. I've done that, as I got older in the industry, Tony, I started getting compensated for awards from dignitaries, seeing how much I put a lot of work in outside of helping the people. And my name fruition in White Houses, the Capitol, the Senate. So I received a top 50 award in hip hop. August 11th, I was nominated for a proclamation. I won the United States Senates. I have maybe 6 or 7 of them proclamations. I got 2 keys to the city. Got 1 president, 1 United States Senator, governor, mayor, stuff like that. All that's good and dandy, and I'm grateful and thankful. But the work and the happiness done is feeding your brother who doesn't have anything, a sandwich and a cup of coffee. That's where the love come in at, Doc. Sit and let me hear his story. What happened, John? Why are you here today? That's the love.
So you still consider service to be a primary motivating factor for you still, even after
all these years
of service, you're still finding the motivation to continue. Yeah. How much influence you think you've had over those years? What do the people? Because when you give away toys as to little kids, those kids grow up. They remember.
They come back.
I remember you.
They come back.
You looked out for us.
Some have died, and some have come back and say, "Hey, Mr. Hazard, thanks for the toy you gave me when I was 8 years old. A bicycle. They remember that. So I said, thank you. You're welcome." So they come back and help out and work in the toy program with me at times. I do 40 broken homes every year in the projects, the toy drive. I started taking donations October 31st because Toys for Tots take away everything, toys and stuff that I try to get for the kids in each and every house. You know, I used to work for Toys for Tots for years, so I know how they do. We won't get into that. That's off record.
We'll talk about that when the camera's off. But tell me what's next for you. You've done a lot.
Well, I got
how much is there left to do?
It's not very much, man. But like I said, I'm getting a prestigious award Saturday, February 21st. It's the Martin Luther King Media Award. It's the first that's ever happened. I got that from voting out of dignitaries and the governor and the mayor of all the media and the radio in this city and state. My name was nominated for this award. I'm grateful.
What did that mean to get that? And how did they tell you? You know, how did you find out that, hey, I'm not only am I up for it, but I got it.
I tell you this, man. Man, you just got to, God will tell you things, man. You hear, God, it's just that I tell you this. My work wasn't done in vain. What I do outside of this radio is all good, man, when I do this. So people talk from people that's low and people that's high. But I did have a friend that called me and said, hey, man, from a high place, say, hey, you ready to win an award? Because, man, that's all they do is talk about you, how much you do this, and do that. I said, tell them thanks, whoever it was. So when I did get the I'll tell you this funny thing, when I got a proclamation from Greg Fisher, this is what I did, gonna mess you up. I wish Harry was there.
Okay, so that's been a while.
It's been a while. Let me tell you what I did. So it was an award for me to get from Greg Fisher, because I used to work with him, help him out and things like that. So it's
the mayor here in Louisville.
Yeah, it used to be. It was gonna have a big red car. They're gonna tear the red thing and have a big thing about it. I said, you know what? My general manager said, hey man, since you're getting a proclamation, maybe we can get the rest of the staff. So I called Mayor Fisher. I said, Doc, it'd be selfish for me to receive this prestigious award if it wasn't for helping get my employees, my team players to get an award as well too, even if they do know or don't know. That's how it all came to pass. Everybody get a proclamation award. Normally people would never would have done that. And then when I received that award from Greg Fisher, maybe 3 days after that, I had a New York Times, Boston Globe call. Hey, want to do a story on
big media?
Well, yeah, want to do a story. I said, no, it's okay, I'm fine. I said, no, we want to do. They came down to do a story on me, and 32 News came and did that thing. What they do, but it's all good, man. But the most joy that I do is you sitting here talking to me. You relax. You let me talk when I want to talk. You let me say certain things I want to say. Because everything was script when you get interviewed with other people. But I just enjoy you when I first met you and your wife, and I wanted to do this to help you and your organization, your company.
Well, me and you have great conversation on the phone
All the time.
And when we see each other, it's an elevating time.
Yes, sir.
So I've always appreciated that, and
Yes, sir.
I'm really looking forward to seeing you get that award.
You will.
And at what point did the recognition
Can you tell Harry and David come in here real quick?
Did the recognitions start coming in? And you felt as though, man, I'm finally, not so much like it, because you always say, one thing I know about you, you'll say over and over, it's not about me. No. It's never about you. Right. But at what point did you say, man, at least this hard work that I'm putting in is starting to pay off? Mm-hmm. People are starting to see that I'm putting in work here and recognizing what I do.
You know what, Tony? It's like this, man. It's it's like this gentleman here is Harry Johnson, works for the station. For a man like him to see a little bit of me, I said a lot of him in me when I've done this business and done things, and what I've done, man. And I always tell him that he's one of a kind, man. And you just got to turn other people on to the magic, man. And either he or she can't do it, you know, you still teach them or whatever, that kind of thing. But I see a lot in him, and he's done a lot. And we had our days in the industry. Like you say, we had our woes, and I had them. And
Your challenges.
I had challenges. And he's seen a lot of things I've done. He says he got total respect for me, but we're going to see that, you know. But he watched me grow. He watched me stay in my lane. He always say, hey, he always asked up several questions. And go in there and learn. Go in there and learn as much as you can, you know, those kind of things. And reason I got him in here because he's a special person to my life in this business. And when I could sit back and watch him do what I did.
Yeah.
I sit back, hey man, I remember that guy, man. Should listen to him, you know, watch him do the things I've done. That's what it's about.
Right.
One hand pulling the other hand and helping the other hand. That's what it's about. Same thing you're going to do to your business someday. It's never about you. People not always going to like you for what you do, what you stand, dog. Trust me. You're going to learn that.
No, I know it.
People talk about me today. People talk about me all the time. Get a chance to know me. What you said earlier about some of the worst things I've been, get a chance to know me.
Yeah.
Don't antagonize me from 100 yards away and have a chance to sit and talk to me.
Well, I know that, you know, it's not all glitz and glamour. It's not, I know there's been ups and downs on this road.
It has.
You know.
It has.
Even in this gentleman, you know, I'm sure there were a lot of ups and, of course, you had somebody great to work with, but I'm still sure even through that, there were ups and downs
Our
with
bridges
that.
to cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And for him to see you watch each other grow,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like watering a plant, you know. If I can help water his plant to grow his leaves,
Yeah.
he can help mine. And then together we sprout. And we bring greatness.
Yeah.
But you know, the greatness of it is, you can just sit back and watch. Man, I can really enjoy it, Doc. I can enjoy it. So I work with a lot of people in this business, man. A lot of people, T. Some made it, some died, some, you know, the late Dwayne Watkins was a good friend of mine in this business, and rest his soul. So many of them that died, you know. But I mentioned Dwayne because me and Dwayne used to have fun.
I met him.
Yeah, we used to have, he took me, and of course he knows, Harry knows him as well too. He did a lot of work. He taught me a lot. He was a county executive and taught me a lot about how to hook, you know, your ins and outs and your breaks, and how to slow talk your breaks. Don't rush them. Relax. So I listened to him, man.
He had a great voice too.
Great voice. Yeah.
Told me about the Louisville legends.
Yeah, man. So it goes on a little more and more, but Tony, you know, I'm grateful and thankful you took time out to just share a little moment with me.
Well, I appreciate you being willing to even do this.
And a little story, just a little something about a little man like me, still doing what I'm doing. People don't like what I do. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I know the Lord. That's what sustains me. You ain't gotta like me, because one day you gonna have your moment too. Everybody has a moment, you know. And when you're in your moment, don't hate on the brother. Just do what you do. You know what I mean? Don't do it. Just, if you're going through a problem, hey man, I want to talk to you about something. Dog.
Yeah.
You know, we have battle of music days and everything on the weekends. You know, me and him, and learning from him and watching him, how he wants to be what it is. I always tell him all the time, but if it's not hurting his feelings, it's making him better. I said, Doc, you got something in you, why didn't it hide in me? And it's in you. And I know it's in you. And I told him that. You just got to just bring it out. And, you know, so, you know, either you want it, either you don't want it, you know. But I'm here to tell you, the game ain't easy, but you can do it. You know what I mean? You can do it. If you learn under anybody, I'm done at this. If you can learn from anybody, you want to learn from the best. Tony Fields was the best of the game. everybody that he fruition learned something about his tulip, how he inspired other young and older radio personalities in the country. Even if you didn't like him, there was low moments in his life as well too. You know, but he made you better. And I'm one of his proteges.
Yeah.
Small proteges, but you know, one of his proteges, man.
I'm sure he's proud of what you've been able to accomplish.
I'm proud of Harry Johnson. But see, he gets it, you know, he ready to go home, he tired and pacing, you know. But see, it's gonna be days like this. He's gonna have to sit down and talk to you guys and sit down with, you know.
He'll get his moment.
Yeah, he'll get his moment. But man, I appreciate you, man. But that's it, man. It's just teaching, you know, him and other people, man. They don't want to listen. You know, that's the thing. You know, the thing what got me through is listening. And I still listen today at 59 years old. I told my age on the thing. I still listen today. I had to go home now and take care of mama and, you know, and things like that, you know. Like, that's why I say it's never about me. It's about taking care of the people. You know, my mama was one. Well, y'all had me broke it down earlier talking about my parents. Well, I don't really do that as much. But if you knew two people, man, oh girl, you look pretty. They get pretty red dress. You know, Mr. T, you look good. You know, I always acknowledge and appreciate you.
Uplifting.
Oh man, all the time. And knew Jesus. And do it. She didn't force Jesus on this. Look, baby, go in there and pray sometime. Let him hit you where it hit you, you know. But I love her. I didn't get a chance to tell my mother that I love her after she died. After she died. I didn't get that chance to, man. And
what would she say about where you at right now?
You know, I think about that a lot. About when I started getting these awards, I said, Mom, you know, I got another award. I went back to the cemetery Veteran Cemetery over in New Albany, where they're both buried at, and Dad and my mom, and beautiful cemetery, Veteran Cemetery over in New Albany, and I sat down with, I have these plaques on my arm. I said, look, Dad, Mom, I know you're proud of me. You gotta tell me that you're proud of me. I don't know if you're proud of me or not. You know, tell me that you're proud. I went home and put the plaques back up on the wall. I was laying down watching the rifleman, Lucas McCain. And it's another story about Lucas McCain. But never met him, but I watched his movies. But I do trivia questions with Lucas McCain. He played on 3 professional teams, which, you know, I do trivia questions.
Yeah, so you know a lot about him.
Oh, man, better believe it. So I was laying down, went to sleep, woke up. I seen a light on in the kitchen. I said, what's this light on in the kitchen for? Who got this light on? I said, Mama, is that you in there? What I do is call my woman Mama. Mama, is that you in there? Mama went in the room. Mama's in there snoring. And Mama's in there snoring real good. You know, I went in the kitchen, and a dim light was on above the kitchen, flicking off and on. That's a brand new bulb. It's under the kitchen. You know, the little light.
Yeah.
I said, Mama, you in here? Light just kept just flicking. Man, I know my mother and father, man, today, my success, and my other brother's success. Had a brother that played professional league football 9 years for the Jets. And I know my mother, man, was proud, man, of their children. It's not, once again, it's never about me. It's about their children, how they done what they supposed to do. I'm grateful.
So would she say, yeah, I saw that in him when he was 3 years old, he grabbed the microphone and I knew that he, you know how when you had little kids who grow up to play ball, they said, well, he had a little hoop when he was 3 years old. He used to dunk the little ball and I knew he was going to grow up to be, would they say that about you? That I saw radio personality in him from at this stage.
Yeah.
What would they say? Would they say that, you know, they could see it? Or would they be surprised, man?
A lot of them be
I thought he
surprised.
would be.
A lot of them be surprised.
Man, I thought
I
he
used to be a
would.
jokester in school. I used to tease people. But some of them, I had 13 childhood friends. And the rest of us, so they all passed.
That's a lot.
And we did everything under the sun. And one of them was Jeff Ellis. He's played ball for Ohio State. It was Jimmy Ellis' younger son. And he moved to Sacramento. He had pancreas cancer, and his wife called said, Jerry, he's turning for worse. Need to get up here and see him. So I flew to Sacramento. Had a delay in Colorado as always. And wanted to go see him, and he was in getting therapy, chemo, and I walked in the doctor's office, and he didn't know I was coming. But I noticed something different about him. He had rings on the outside of his eyes, black rings. He didn't look like himself, and I was like, man, what's going on, He just hugged me, and just, I stayed 2 weeks, and at his, in Sacramento, and it was his birthday. He was turning 51 or 50, I believe. And he said, man, go on and San Francisco, enjoy yourself. And I went to San Francisco, across that bay water. I said, Lord, look at this water. Look at Alcatraz. But I drank them coffees, I forgot what they call it. They get you to Irish coffees. And came back. I said, I saw him about 3 or 4 bay bridges. One time I got back crossing that bridge, So I got back to my hotel. The next day I went over and talked to him, and he was having a birthday gathering, and all his friends from college and stuff. It's one of his guys from high school coming up, childhood friend. He was my childhood best friend. And as I was great, everybody left, and everybody was like, man, I'm going to head back to Louisville. And he said, okay, man. And he stopped in the kitchen. And I hugged him, and he cried. And I said, Doc, promise me something, Doc. That's how we used to talk. I said, that if you get to heaven, let me know you got that. And he said, I will. And man, excuse me, but it's
okay.
Out of the 13 childhood friends I had, those are the guys that love me the most, man. That about the radio you talked about. They was pushing me, man. You're gonna do it someday. I ain't never got a chance to see that. They knew it was in me, and man, it's tough. Tony, man, it's tough when you love somebody, when somebody's gone. You still here today. Man, it's tough, man. That's why I say, man, it's never about you. It's about the people, man. It's about her. Taking care of her. Supporting her. It's one. You become one. Man, and it's just so much, man. But I'm sorry, man. It just hit me. I just knew it was going to hit me sooner or later. I talked about my mom and my dad. Man, that's what I live for today. My children and my grandkids. I live for today. Live for the moment. My oldest daughter, Jasmine, and my oldest son, Justin, all of them, they live out of state. My dad is a radio guy, big time, small guy. Now I'm small.
Proud of their dad.
Yeah, I'm small, but I've written material say that I was somebody them days. But I never forget, man, about how God touched my heart, man, and things fruition so much, man, and just so much, man. I could tell you, hooky stories. I know you've been gone all day, you and your wife, church and stuff. I've been here. And
I live for these moments.
I understand.
So, even though it has been a long day.
Have you had anybody cry in your interview?
No, but I had my moment earlier today.
Okay. Because it's real. It's real.
It was real.
It's real. And I had more hays and more yays in my life that wanted me to do what I've done. And man, you just gotta just be you, respect and treat them, regardless how bad it hurts. God knows. My mom always said, well, let him talk, honey. Let him talk. Yes, ma'am. I said, Mama, I can't have him keep talking like that. We keep running now, you know. Let him talk, baby. Let him talk. Yeah. But anyway, I'm totally grateful for you and your company. I'll always be indebted to you and your wife and your company. And anything that I can bless and help.
You're saying the things that I already feel, and the reason that I'm here. That, you know, I appreciate what you've given to the community. You know, and as I've gotten to know you, getting your story and letting people know how much you've given back, and how you've helped to make this community better in a way. Because, you know, a lot of times on the radio, not only do they not see your face, but they might not even know some of the things that you've been able to do and accomplish.
That's true.
And I thought it was very fitting that you finally get your flowers, you know, that you get the recognition
Appreciate it.
that you deserve.
Appreciate it.
So that people are aware of what you've done.
My close friends like Brian Durbin and his wife and other Peter and his wife and other guys that know this journey I've been on. They've always been supportive. A lot of other people was unsupportive, you know, but that's part of people.
That's part of it.
But, you know, I'm going to tell you this, man, it made the beast out of me.
Yeah, it motivates you.
Yeah. Like you said all the time, you can't hold my job, man, because I do so many hooks, and you know, you be lost doing them, you know, on them hooks. But that's why I talk about the things now that's important to life. I might give you education standpoint that you'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. I just told you something about Dolly Parton that you probably didn't know. And successfully, what she did to other people to help other people. That's what it's about. You took your toys out of Grand Ole Opry and took them to Pigeon Forge to another place, you know, and did what you did, made it Dollywood, and, you know, that's what the business move does. But it's very interesting that what you did before you left, you gave back and helped your people. That's what it's about, Tony. In life yourself, darling, it's never about you.
No. It's always been bigger than me. You know. I'm glad to be a part of it, but I know that my part is temporary. And in that, even long after I'm long gone.
I feel like I'm interviewing you. In my closing remarks, I will say this. It was John and Peter, David or somebody else, and somebody said, man, who's that guy on that hill? Somebody said, man, I don't know who it is. But you hung with him. How you don't know who he is and you hung with him? That's Jesus, the Son of God. Oh, is it? They run up the hill saying that was Jesus. A lot of people don't know him. If you do, you don't get a chance to know him. He opened up a world where you never seen before. That's what I learned in this business here, learning Jesus. It's been days early in the morning, 5 in the morning, doing afternoon, morning drives and trying to put people together on different calls and people going through testimonies and problems and issues and marriages and trying to hold that together too. Still doing that, you know. It doesn't come easy. You got to maintain this, the callers. You give a encouraging word to somebody on your opening, on your close remarks. Always say in the close remarks, Be thankful for much. And love always hits the mark. Love. Somebody be like, oh, I'll get that down about next week or get it this week. But that originated in, okay, I got it. Love. Hey, I was talking about that love thing. Valentine's Day. Giving stuff away to women that doesn't have anything or generally have anything. What I've done yesterday. You didn't know it, but I was doing it. Oh, I get you to get that. I didn't have any money. You know, it happens. Well, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you, JHAZZ. You know, make somebody else's day. If God bless you right now, you and your wife, with $1 million, and you take it, and he blessed you, what will be the first thing you do? See what I'm saying? I've been talking to you this whole interview about it's never about you. Go back there and bless your people. I didn't say spend the whole $1 million. Bless your people. God's gonna show a door where you never seen before. Like I told you, this is the third time I said that to you. You know what God told me about you too? You in the ministry. You called to preach. I done seen men like you. Go out there and teach God's people. Be like Paul. Be like David. Go out there and teach. You got a story. You got a story. That's what God told me about you. It's called discernment spirit, you know, where you got to feel God give you that contrast spirit. You can, okay, that's what you're going to do. God told me about that about you. It just, in the moment of closing on the second time, take care of mama. Alter the feelings of the first lady, the matriarch. That's where it starts at. Forget about you at times not having and not getting. It's about that, the matriarch. I would love for mama, my mother, come back and just say, hey mama, what do you need? You know, it's too late. She's gone. I didn't get a chance to say I loved her, and the wife right there. Do the unexpected of your unexpectation that she wouldn't know and will bless her and you at the same time. Do something where you do something, it could be small, something big, whatever, whatever it is. So baby, you know what I want to do today? You off today? Yeah, I'm off. Here, I got something for you. She'd be like, oh honey, you didn't have to do that. It was in me to do it because it's never about me. You see where I'm getting at? You get that 2 weeks from now. Remember, Tony, you got a lot of gift in you. You and her. Spread it. Teach it. Show it. Your lights are beautiful, man. I see you guys down on the court. Mama's laying on the floor, she's you laying on the floor, y'all. Man, that's love. My wife down there on the court doing all that, and she doing what I'm doing just as much. A lot of them would be doing that. They'd be, I'm scared of all these people, you know what I mean?
You're right. It's a beautiful thing to see and to experience every game. It's very unique in our space. Mm-hmm. And but I get to run into people like you, and I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Yes, sir.
After the many conversations that we've had,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now you're giving me marital advice, and I'm gonna go home and try it.
Don't do it because I said just do it on the unexpected. You know what I mean? Don't do it because I told you today. Do something down the road a month from now. You know what I mean? Then when you give it to her and do something, baby, remember that time we was in there talking to JHAZZ in the studio about a month, 2 months ago? I remember that. And you give me something. So, man.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
you're a great person. You're a great man, man. You and your wife, man. You're good people. But I noticed a lot in you, Doc. You got that wisdom in you. You let us spread, Doc.
Well, I'm just doing my part to give back. Showcasing people like yourself and as well as other talent. And that's my ministry.
So
I'm already in my ministry.
Let me interview you someday. I want to carve some wood. We're in the wood. Me and you in the wood. We two bears.
Coming to the country and
we carving wood. We standing out in the wood in the cold.
So can we do the interview with my goats? Can they be around?
They can be around, but they gonna be too around. They be up on their grill. You know what I mean? Have goat stew. You know what I mean? But I appreciate it. Like once again, I appreciate your time and
Likewise.
your due diligence and your hard work. It's never done in vain. I watch you from miles and miles and 100 yards away, man. You're truly blessed. You and your wife. I watch you keep doing what you're doing, but work a little initiative, work a little harder. Sometimes you want to take your own initiative at times. You know, you told
it's a work in progress.
You told me about a few weeks ago that you wanted numbers. You know how you get the numbers? The character, praying. Just pray. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Watch what God do. He's going to put you in arenas like myself and other people that's bigger than me. And you got 30, 40 million people listening to you, or viewing you. You see what I'm saying?
Well, faith without works is dead. And we definitely putting some work in, for sure.
Tony,
for sure.
In closing, thank you very much for your time. I'm indebted to you and your wife. And I really appreciate both of you for your time.
Likewise.
I didn't want to get to a lot of personality of the radio, but it is what it is. I've done a lot. I showed you little things you didn't know, little things, Stellar Awards and all that, and a little bit. I never told you about the money. I said I made a few dollars, but
well, I can tell.
But I've been blessed to take care of people. But I'm grateful, man. In your closing remarks, sir.
No, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you doing this.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure getting to know you a lot more.
Yes, sir.
Than I knew you already.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you and your wife. Thank you.
I'm excited to see what happens next for you, as well as to see you get that award.
Yeah, February 21st, 6 o'clock. Give all glory to God, man. That's it, Doc. That's the man. The myth, the legend. It's God, Doc. That's how I order my steps, Doc. And been a good ride, man. Been a good ride. But long as I know Jesus, man, everything's all good, man. Seriously. I can sing though a little bit too. You need to come watch me, hear me sing.
Give us a little something.
No, I'm gonna give you a little something.
Give us a little.
Nah, man, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm grateful, I'm thankful, man. You hear me sing sometime. And keep up the good work, man.
You too.
I'm gonna help you get you some viewers.
We'll get there.
Oh, you gonna get there, no doubt about it.
We'll get there.
All right.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you guys for joining tonight, and it's been a tremendous roller coaster. I hope I didn't tear up a lot of you guys, but I'm totally grateful. Thank you for your audience and for T and his wife for what they do, and always support them. Support them. That's what it's about. If they ask for a little support, give it to them. God bless you.
Ball game, I'm the reason that they all came. I'm headed to the Hall of Fame. Best believe that I'll never have an off game. Got a soft touch on the big stage. End of the game, so clutch. Lockdown D so deadly. Hit half court shots to the warm up. It ain't hard. I'm the one that you can't guard. Got a feeling that I can't lose.